So good morning, students. So here I'm sharing screen. This is our third lecture on numerical analysis. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about significant digits and loss of significance also. So actually, we don't want that loss of significance because by simply looking into the absolute error, we cannot judge that it is our most accurate approximation to the exact. So that's why that is because of the loss of significance only. So we don't want our loss of significance in our calculation. So how to get rid of this? So now we will, in today's lecture, we will discuss about the two techniques so that to get rid of the loss of significance here. So first of all, we have nested arithmetic, or you can write it as a nested algorithm also. So nested algorithm, actually we will use when you have a polynomial. Suppose you have a, I'm taking a cubic polynomial. So this is a polynomial. And if I want to find the this value is this polynomial at x is equal to suppose 1.37. So if I want to find the value of this polynomial at natural number or any integer, then it will be okay to you, because if I simply put 3 into this, that will give you the exact value. But if I take 1.37 or any decimal value, real value here, then you will get the approximation. So obviously, if you take 1.37 cube, then you will get an approximation of that number. So similarly, if I write 0.01, so that is again a very small number, and if you write its cube 0.01 cube, then you will get a loss of significance in that case. This approximation, worst approximation in that case. So now if you want to compute this polynomial at this and these type of numbers, then how to get a approximate, most accurate approximation. So that is a main part we will do here. So now what is the procedure to find the most accurate approximation at these numbers also? So let us take the polynomial again. So I will write this polynomial as I will take x common from these three terms. Then I will get c bx plus ax square. So I'm trying to write the each x in terms of x raised to power 1 only. So I'm trying to reduce its powers only. So d, again I can write it as a x, c plus, again I can take x common from here, b plus ax. So this way you can write the polynomial, and now if you put 1.37 or any other real number in this in decimal, then you will get the most accurate approximation. So we will see this in by taking one example also, that evaluate this function or polynomial. It is again a cubic polynomial at x is equal to 4.71 using 3-digit arithmetic directly and with nesting. So what you have to do, you have to find out you have to use 3-digit arithmetic. So we have already discussed about the finite digit arithmetic, that if it is finite digit arithmetic, then in each calculation you have to maintain the 3 digits only. So that is a procedure we will follow here. And here you have to find out the 3 digit directly and with nesting. Nesting is this process. Okay, so now first we will find its exact value. So its exact value means I simply put 4.71 into the polynomial. So if I put the polynomial, means if I put 4.7 into the polynomial, so I will get, means you can here to find the exact value, I'm not following 3-digit arithmetic here. I'm just taking I'm just putting this polynomial into the calculator and find its value. So you will get 14.263899. So this is the exact value I'm getting from the calculator only. Means I'm simply putting 4.71 into this polynomial, I will get this number. So this is the exact value. Okay, I have found this exact value because I can compare this exact value with the approximate value. So I want this exact value here. So that's why we have found this exact value. Okay, so now I'm using 3-digit arithmetic directly. So I will maintain 3 digits in each calculation. So that is the only thing. So I write 1.5 means I have to put 4.71 here, plus 3.2 into 4.71, 6.1 into 4.71 square, plus 4.71 cube. So now if I take 1.5, then multiply these two, then maintain 4 digits, sorry, 3 digits. So if I multiply it, it will be 15.1. So I'm taking 3 significant digits here. Minus 6.1, 4.71 square, it will be 22.2. So here it is not mentioned, you have to do rounding or chopping. So at 4th number, by looking into the 4th number, I'm doing rounding here. Okay. So now, in cube, you have again 4.71 into 4.71 square. So in each calculation, you have to maintain the 3 digits. So here also I am writing 4.71 into 22.2 because its sphere is 22.2. So it is 1.5 plus 15.1 minus, if I again multiply these two, it will be 135. I think you will get 134.9 something, then I will round it off, so it will be 135. 4.71 into 22.2, it will become 105. So now if I solve this by using board mass, you will get minus 13.4. Minus 13.4 is the approximate value when I'm using 3-digit arithmetic directly here. Okay, so now I'm using nesting.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, in 4.71 cube, like why did you do it in 2 steps? Like first calculating 4.71 square and then doing.
We are using 3-digit arithmetic. So each calculation you have to perform the 3-digit arithmetic here. So here in cubic, if you write in the calculator, so it will be 4.71. So in behind its calculation, it will be 4.71 into 4.71 into 4.71. So this is again a calculation here. You have to first multiply these two, either these two or these two. So multiply these two, then maintain 3 digits because it will be, gives you 6 digits now when you multiply it.
Yes, ma'am.
Have to round it up of 3 digits, then again multiply it by 4.71.
Okay, ma'am.
डायरेक्टली तो हम इसमें भी कर ही रहे थे एग्जैक्ट वैल्यू निकालने के लिए. सो डोंट डू इट डायरेक्टली कि डायरेक्टली पुट कर दिया क्यूब निकाल लिया. इट इज
Okay.
So 3-digit directly, now 3-digit arithmetic. So with the nesting, with 3-digit arithmetic, nesting.
Can you go to the previous slide for a second? Thank you.
So now you have a polynomial. You have to write this polynomial in terms of nested form. So it is 1.5. So here I will take x common. So x common, it will be 3.2 minus 6.1x plus x square. So I'm trying to reduce this powers of x here, plus x into 3.2 plus x into minus 6.1 plus x. So now I will put 4.71. So it will be 1.5 plus 4.71. So again, I will maintain 3 digits only. (1.5) first I will solve this bracket. 4.71 subtract these two, it will be minus 1.39. So I will take 3 digits only. 1.5 plus 4.71 into 3.2. Then again I multiply it, it will be negative 6.55. So again I will multiply it, it will be minus, sorry, subtract these two, it will be minus 3.35. So again I multiply these two, it will be so here you can compare your this approximate value with the this exact value. So it is minus 14.3. If I round it up, it will be minus 14.3, and you can see this approximate value also. So if I yeah,
Can explain about nesting wala? Can please again
Yeah.
explain that?
yes. So here you can see it is minus 14.3. Our last value is minus 14.3. So now you can compare both the values. This is the approximate value and this is the exact value. And this is our 3-digit arithmetic directory. So by simply looking into the number, you can see how much error you are getting. So this is the obviously most accurate approximation. So now if I write this as a x and this as x1 and this as x2, so then you can find the errors also. Absolute error, x minus x1, this is exact value. This is 3-digit arithmetic directly. It will be 0.864. And relative error, it will be, so you will find out this exact this relative error also. Divide by yes 14 point negative, so it will be positive. So you will find out. So now if I find absolute error between x and x minus x2, then it will be 0.036106. So here you can see the error. The absolute error is 0.03 but here 0.8. You can compare relative errors also between these two. So this is the benefit of nesting here, that you are getting the most accurate approximation while you are evaluating the polynomial at the decimal points. So next question. We have evaluate x minus sin x when x is small. So here, look into this expression. It is x minus sin x, and x is very small. You can say small also. Means if x is small, you know if x is small, then sin x will be near about to x. That is not exact equal to x, but sin x will be near about to x. So this is again a subtraction of two nearly equal numbers. If x will be small, if I am putting x is equal to suppose 0.01, then 0.01 minus sine 0.01. So this is also approximately equal to 0.01. So this is again approximation of two nearly equal numbers. Then here you will get the loss of significance. So how to get rid of in these type of expression? So here you cannot do nesting after expanding this series of sin x, then you can do nesting here. So now y will be x minus. So if I open this series of sin x, it will be 2 by 3 factorial, 5 by 5 factorial, 7 by 7 factorial, and so on. So then it will be cube by 3 factorial, 5 by 5 factorial, 7 by 7 factorial, and so on. So now here you can see its powers are 3, 5, 7. So obviously if x will be very small, then higher power will gives you 0. Means x powers will gives you 0. So try to reduce into the minimum powers of x. So I will write it as a x cube by 3 factorial. Means I will take it common. So it will be 1 minus 3 factorial into x square by 5 factorial plus 3 factorial by 7 x raised to power 4 and so on. So its minimum power is 2 here, but you cannot reduce this x cube here. But at least you will reduce this 7, 9 values. So 3 factorial and 5 factorial and x square will common from here. Then you will get 1 minus 5 factorial by 7 factorial into x square. So you leave it here. When because x is small, particular value is not given here. So if particular value is given, yeah, then you can put that value also. But now after nesting, you can leave this expression here only, that you have done its nesting. Okay, so this is the procedure of nesting. So this was the first technique that to get rid of the loss of significance. So now we will have another technique that is rationalizing. By using the rationalizing technique, you can rid of the loss of significance.
So, ma'am,
Yes.
मैम इन द ब्रैकेट लाइक वेर यू रिटन 1 minus 5 factorial by 7 मैम इसमें भी तो आगे कॉमन लिया जा सकता है ना मे बी लाइक अगर आगे सीरीज
हाँ इसके आगे वही है इन पोलिनोमियल वी हैव ओनली 3 फाइनाइट एक्सप्रेशन बट इन sin x you have infinite expression. हाँ आगे ये कॉमन होगा, you will get a x values, x powers in the minimum power. You have tried to reduce the powers of x in the minimum powers of x. तो वो 2 तक भी जा सकते हैं, 3 तक भी जा सकते हैं. Actually minimum power तो 2 आ रही है, but maximum वो 3 तक जा रहा है हमारा ये expression.
So ma'am, like up to how many steps we have to do the like we have to take this common, how we will come to know?
No, you can do for 4 or 5 terms. Not it's enough.
Okay ma'am.
But if it is mentioned in the question, then you have to do up to that. अगर mention नहीं है, then you can do only 4. So next we will use the rationalizing to get rid of the loss of significance. So we will do one example here. This is important example. Actually in the loss of significance, nesting and this equation to find the roots of the quadratic equation, these are most important examples. So use 4-digit rounding arithmetic and the formula for the roots of the quadratic equation. Here you have to use 4-digit. Now it is mentioned that rounding, you have to do rounding. 4-digit rounding arithmetic and the formula for the roots. So what is the formula for the roots of the equation, quadratic equation? So if your quadratic equation is this, then the formula is minus b, as you all know, b square minus 4ac. This is the formula by 2a. You have to use this formula to find the most accurate approximations. Means it should not be worst approximation. You have to find the most accurate approximations to the roots of the following quadratic equation. Compute the absolute and relative errors. So this is the quadratic equation. So to find the absolute and relative error, you have to find the exact roots also. So by simply putting this quadratic equation into the calculator, you can find the roots of the quadratic equation, means exact root that you will get. So exact roots of a given quadratic equation. So here you should not follow the 4-digit rounding arithmetic. Here you will write all the digits that your calculator is showing: 0.00114907565991. So this is our exact root, first exact root, and second is minus 10.986874 87643 590. So these are two exact roots. So now I will use the formula to find the most accurate approximations. So x is minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac divided by 2. So here you can see a is 1.002, b is 11.01, and c is 0.01265. So it will be minus 11.01 plus minus b square. It will be 11.01 square 4 into 1.002 and 0.01265 divide by 2 into 1.002. So now you have to use 4-digit rounding arithmetic also. At each step you have to perform this. Means 11 points. First of all, I will calculate this expression in under root. So 11.01 square, then take 4-digit rounding arithmetic. So x will be minus 11.01 plus minus.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can
Yeah.
you just please show the previous slide? Thank you.
So take 11.01 square. So 11.01 square will gives you 121.2 as a 4-digit rounding arithmetic. Minus, now multiply these two, it will be 4.008. And then in the denominator you have 2.004. Multiply this with 2. So now again, if I multiply these two, so it will be 121.2 minus, by taking multiplication, it will be 0.05070. So these are 4 significant digits. Divide by 2.004. Minus 11.01 plus minus. If I subtract these two, it will be 121.1 divided by 2.004. So if I take square root of it, it will be 11.01 plus minus 11.00 divided by 2.004. So first I will take plus sign, that will give you the exponent star. So it will give you minus 0.01 2.004. Okay, so it will be minus 0.0050. And if I'm taking negative sign, it will gives you x2 star. So it will be minus 22.01 divided by 2.004. That you should see that if x1 star, if I'm taking positive sign here, I'm writing this as a x1 star because that will be similar to this expression x1. So that you should do it, that by taking plus you will get x1 star or x2 star. Okay, so x2 star will give you minus 10.98. So these are two approximations of the roots of these of the exact value of the roots. So now here you can see if I'm taking negative sign will gives you means minus 11.01 and minus 11.00 means you are adding these two values by taking negative sign, and you are getting x2 star from here. So now if you compare this approximation value with this exact value, so I think it is acceptable. If I'm using 4-digit arithmetic, so it is minus 10.98 and it is also minus 10.98. Okay, so that is a most accurate approximation you can say. But if you look into this x1 star, but this we got from the by taking plus sign. Plus sign means if I'm taking minus 11.0 plus 11.00. So these are two nearly equal numbers and it is a subtraction of two nearly equal numbers. So you are getting minus 0.0050. So but here our exact root is minus 0.0011. So it is not acceptable. It is not a good approximation, most accurate approximation. So this is a most accurate approximation that we have found. But how to find the most accurate approximation in x1? So you have to remove the loss of significance from here. You have to remove the subtraction of two nearly equal numbers from here. Then only you will get the most accurate approximation. So now you have to find the most accurate approximation by taking the rationalizing here. So to find the most accurate approximation to x1. So we take x1 only. So x1 we have found by taking plus sign minus b plus b square minus 4ac divided by 2. So now rationalizing, because these are two nearly equal numbers. So we have to take rationalizing minus b square minus 4ac by minus b square minus 4ac. So rationalize it, it will gives you b square minus b square plus 4ac divided by 2a into minus b plus b square minus 4ac. So that is 2c with the negative sign, b plus b square minus 4ac. So here you have removed the subtraction of two nearly equal numbers. So now x1 is minus 2c divided by b plus b square minus 4ac. So now you put all the values of a, b, c, then you will get the approximation root. So let us find it, x1, let us call it x1 star. So minus 2 into 0.01265. B is minus B is 11.01 plus that we have already found by taking 4-digit rounding arithmetic. So it is 11.00. Okay, so it is minus 0.0253 divided by 22.01. So it will become minus 0.001149. So here you can see the approximation. So this is the most accurate approximation, which is near about to exact value. This is
Ma'am?
the exact value by taking, yes.
हमें ये कैसे पता चलेगा कि हमें माइनस बी माइनस अंडर रूट बी का मैंने 4 से मल्टीप्लाई डिवाइड करना है
Because it is a part of rationalizing, because we have to remove the subtraction of two nearly equal numbers. So we have to remove this square root part from this number. So this is this is because of the rationalizing. You don't know what is rationalizing.
Ma'am,
Yes.
excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, like we were subtracting two nearly equal numbers and we were getting loss of significance. So
Hmm.
could we not have added zeros in the last of the decimal number? The significance would have increased.
That can increase, but actually this is because of we have to find the most accurate approximation to the roots. We are not simply calculating calculating any expression here. We have to matches that value with the exact value also. So here you can see, if your approximate value is this, even if you add two zeros from this, and
Ma'am,
you,
in minus 0.01, I'm saying, like if we make it minus 0.0100 or something, then
yeah,
the significance will increase. Yes, ma'am.
I think you will get same thing from here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you will get this. Actually, our technique is to remove the subtraction of two nearly equal number from here. Then you will not get the loss of significance. So it is not the case. You can add any zeros here by matching the significant digits. That you will get four significant digits, no problem. But the question is, when you find the absolute error in between these two, so you will not get the most accurate approximation here. So this is because of the subtraction of two nearly equal numbers. So to add zeros to make four significant digits here, it is better if you remove the subtraction of two nearly equal numbers.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So here, if I find the absolute error in between x1 minus x1 star, so it will be here, if I find it. So can you find it, this value? Because you have to just subtract this value and from this value. Okay. So here also, if I find absolute error, x2 minus x2 star. So it means you have to find the exact value and this difference. This also you have to find out, and relative error also you will find out. Actually, this is the required in the question. This is required because you have to find the absolute and relative error with the most accurate approximation. So it is okay with x2, but it is not a most accurate approximation. So this is not required actually, but this is required. If you find x1 double star, that is a most accurate approximation now. So now you can find the absolute error. x1 minus x1 star. This is the requirement and relative error. So this you have to find out, and you can compare this absolute and relative error with this absolute and relative error also. So this way you can get rid of the loss of significance here. So next is algorithm. Actually, from the name you can you know about the algorithm. What is the meaning of algorithm? Actually, when you do the programming, if you write all the steps of the programming in a simple way, in a just simple way, then that will be algorithm. It is the steps of the algorithm you perform. So by proper definition, if I say an algorithm is a procedure that describes a finite sequence of these steps to be performed in a specified order. So that's the meaning of algorithm. So now we will follow one criteria actually. So this is the criteria that what is it, that criteria that if you are taking small changes in the input, or I am taking initial data that produce correspondingly small changes in the final data. So what it means, suppose I am taking a mathematical problem here, f of x. So x is input here. This is my initial data I'm taking. So x is input. So small change in the input, it means if I'm taking small change in the input, it will become x plus delta x, suppose, and delta x is very small. It can be positive or negative. And if it is small change in the input, then it will gives you the small change in the output. It means in the output you will get f only. So I will get small change in the output. So delta f also should be very small. If delta x is small, means correspondingly you will get the small change in the final data. So suppose I'm taking f of x is equal to cos x plus sin x by 2. Suppose it is the case, or here I'm taking 2x, suppose. The next page I'm taking. So f of x is equal to cos 2x plus sin x by 2, suppose. So it means if I'm taking x is equal to any number here, if I'm taking 0.1, and if I'm taking another small change in this 0.1 and 0.01, and suppose 0.1 will gives you any value of this expression, and 0.1 and 0.01, this is a small change in 0.1, then you will get the small change in that value. Means if I find 0.1 and if I find 0.11, so obviously that is a small change in the input, so that also should gives a small change in the output that you can find. So then that criteria will follow. Okay. So now how to write an algorithm? Suppose this is the mathematical problem. So how to write an algorithm for this? So how to write a steps of the algorithm? So suppose I will take first step. First step I have to take very any number here. If I'm taking, suppose this is the first step, x I am taking 0.1, suppose. So now to find the this expression at 0.1, first I have to find this 2x. So I in the next step what I will do, I will write 2 into x naught. 2 into x naught. This is my second step. And then in the next step you have to find cos of 2x. So I'm writing the steps of the algorithm here. So it will become cos of x1. That will become x2. So in the next step, you have to find x by 2. So it will become x naught by 2. Okay. So in the next step, you will find out sin x by 2. It means it is sin x3. Okay. So in the next step, now you have found cos 2x here and sin x by 2 here. So in the next step, you will find out it is x2 plus x4. So this way you will write the algorithm. So these are the steps of the algorithm to write any mathematical problem. This is any expression you have to find out. This is step 1, step 2, then 6th step you have to follow to write this expression. Means at each and every step you have to write in the algorithm. So now what is the use of this criteria actually? Here I should write that, sorry, that this is a related with stable and unstable. An algorithm that you have found it, that algorithm satisfies the above criteria, means if you are taking small change in the input and small change corresponding, you are getting the small change in the output, satisfy this criteria or property is called stable. Means that algorithm will be stable, otherwise it will be unstable. Otherwise your algorithm will be unstable. So you're checking the stability or instability of an algorithm by using this criteria, that if you are taking small change in the input that produces a small change in the output, that will give you the stability of the algorithm. So if algorithm is stable, and there is another term here, that is well conditioned and ill conditioned or ill conditioned. So now if I'm writing any algorithm that is associated with this problem, suppose this is a mathematical problem and you have written the algorithm for this. So the well conditioned is term which is associated with the problem actually. So a problem is well conditioned. Problem is obviously mathematical problem, is well conditioned if small changes, means I am writing the criteria definition here, small changes in the input data can produce only small change in the output. So otherwise it will be ill conditioned. It is ill conditioned. So it means suppose I have any mathematical problem here. If I write a algorithm for this expression, then at each step you will find that this criteria will follow. Means if I'm doing the small change here, and that will produces the small change in the output. And again, if I'm taking small change in the input, again x1 should produce small change in the output. Again, this should follow here also. Here means at each step it should be satisfied. Then you will say the algorithm will be stable. And if in any one of these steps the criteria will not follow, then you will say algorithm is not stable, and that expression, this problem will be ill conditioned problem. And in case of stability, algorithm stable, then your expression will be well conditioned. Okay, so this way you can find the stability or instability of an algorithm, and well conditioned or ill conditioned for a problem. So actually it is very difficult to write that, difficult to find out the small change in the output and small change in the in the input here. Small change in the input and small change in the output. So obviously we have one term here to find its directly, that is associated with that criteria only, that is condition number. So by using the condition number term, you will be able to find this criteria that our algorithm is following that criteria or not. So that condition number will help you. So now what is the condition number here? So the condition number is given by that is denoted by either kappa or k, you can say, and it is relative change in the output and taking the ratio of these two, relative change in the input. That is a criteria only. And if I want that my criteria should follow, then obviously I will take this ratio should be near about to 1. If I say it is a less than 1 or near about to 1, then I will say this condition number that the condition number will satisfy that criteria. And if it is far greater than 1 means if I am doing small change in the input that produces the large change in the output, that is a greater than equal to 1 situation, means far away from 1 situation. So that will not follow this that criteria. But if it will be near about to 1 or less than 1, then we can say that our condition number is matching that criteria, is that fulfill that criteria. So with the help of this condition number, we will able to find the terms here. We will able to find that the algorithm is stable or not, and find the problem is well conditioned or ill conditioned. So here I can write if condition number of a problem is less than, either less than or near to 1, then that problem will be well conditioned, is well conditioned. And if condition number is far greater than 1, then obviously that problem will be ill conditioned. So obviously that will depend on the question, that how it will be far away from 1, because sometimes 2 will be far away from 1 and sometimes 100 will be far away from 1, and sometimes 100 will be near about to 1. That will be depending on the question, that you are taking the condition number far away from 1, that is a stable condition, or unstable condition. So that will be depending on the question. So here these are the exercise you have to do. Means first of all, nesting you have to do. This is a question of nesting, and this is the quadratic equation roots you have to find out. And here you have to find the condition number. Actually, I'm giving you the formula here. By using this formula, you will find out the condition number of this problem. So, but in the next lecture, we will compute this condition number formula also. But for the meanwhile, to do this third question, you will use this formula.
मैम
मैं एक बार वो स्लाइड लगाओगे जहाँ पर आपने
मैम?
इंटरसेक्शन की
हाँ।
लिखी थी।
क्या किया था?
यस
Hello?
मैम, स्लाइड चाहिए थी बस।
ओके। Okay, time is over, so I have to leave.
मैम
Yes.
मैम वो जो आपने वो कंडीशन मगर जो आपने फॉर्मूला लिखा है मैम, वो उसके एलिमेंटर में f डैश x है।
Yes,
मतलब
yes,
कि-
it's derivative. X into first derivative f of x, then divide by f of x. By this formula, you find the condition number at the particular x. But in the next lecture, we will derive this formula also.
मैम,
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And where can we access the recording of this?
I will update in my Google Drive. So I will share the link also.
All right, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.